Well. It's been a long time. I know. I always say I'm gonna try to do better and trying to upload more consistently. But you know what, man? I'm just a part-time trucker, right? Let's talk about the load. Let's talk about the securement, right? So this thing is over 10,000 pounds. Since it's over 10,000 pounds, you gotta have 4 points of securement, right? We got one, two, three, four. And luckily, these things are 3/8 size, okay? And they are rated. They are marked on there. So we're good to go. Like, I like the way that it got. I didn't intend for it to be in that position the way it is right now. And I just told them where to set it. They set it, and luckily we were able to use the most minimal chain that we can. Okay, but anyway, 4 points of securement. I put this on there just to stabilize that tongue on there some more. Even though with the rubber mat on there, it's just that this right here will prevent that thing from swinging. Okay, I mean these will prevent it from swinging already, and that would also prevent it from swinging even further. Okay, but as far as working load limit, we are good to go. Oh, we are good to go on that. We already traveled like uh, 90 miles on it. It's good to go. They're good. But yeah, as far as working load limit, we are good to go on it. Uh, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, that's 12,000. It's less than 15,000 pounds or 18,000 pounds. So we are good. Now, let us talk about this load. I'm always checking my tires, right? And I just got through climbing a hill, and you know, we're only going like 60, 60 mph, and it's about 86 degrees out here. Yeah. Well, it was 88. Boy, I tell you, them tires were hot to the touch. So, yeah, I'm just taking it real easy right now because like that's for me they felt way too hot to the touch, you know. So, anyway, we are heading into California. This load is going into El Cajon, which is the San Diego area, right? And it's dropping tomorrow, which is Saturday, which is a good thing. And that's what I'm always trying to achieve right there is that can I find a load that is quick within the shooting distance from the house, and um, can I get it dropped off and get this load complete and be coming back home? Look at that guy. Look, you see all that smoke coming out of his truck? You know that doggone truck ain't no DEF approved. And it was a Volvo. It's not like the old kind of Volvo. It's a new kind of Volvo. Anyway, whatever you want to do, you know. Um, so this load, right? Man, let me tell you this load. So at first, this load was posted for 1,800. My goodness, Crete. Come on, man. It's like so many truck drivers, they just can't stay in their lanes anymore, man. It's like, man, I'm already hugging this right lane. So, anyway, so it was posted for 1,500, right? At least when I caught it. It might have been posted lower than that. So it was posted for 1,500, and I was like, I didn't pay no mind. And then they moved it up to 1,800. I was like, wait a minute now. Okay. So I called it in. Lady I spoke to over the phone. So mind you, this load is from a big broker. Okay, Citation Logistic. They're really big brokers, brokerage. When it posted at 1,800, I got a little curious. Okay, I called it in, and the lady that I spoken to at the moment was like, "Well, we need somebody ready right now." at the moment I wasn't ready because I was babysitting. Okay, so she was like, "No, we need somebody ready right now." I was like, "Okay, cool, no problems." And I knew that I didn't have a seat. Right? I was like, I was kind of like making. I was feeling bad because I was technically trying to put the seat back on so I can have the little one with me to go pick up this load, and then, you know what I mean, roll out once everybody's at home, somebody could actually take care of the little one, right? That was my plan. But then, like I said, I haven't put the seat back on. Let me mind you, if it was an easy seat, I would have put it on already. But that thing is heavy, man. It has a base on it, right? It has a base to spin around, and that thing is nothing but made out of solid steel, and it's heavy as a whole. You know, I tried to take it apart about last week or about 2 weeks ago. I tried to take it apart just so I can put it back in because I've been meaning to put it back in, but when I was trying to take it apart, I was like, ah, man, I'm not gonna mess with it. So I was gonna wait for my 16-year-old to get out of school because they're back in school now, and that's another thing. That's why, like, my time is even much more limited now because the kids are back in school. Nobody's gonna look out for the little one. So that's why I can technically now I can only roll out. I can only pick up a load on a Friday and be back and be by Monday evening. I should be back at home. So the kind of loads that I can pick up are very limited. And they're very selective. Okay, so or there's only select few that I can actually pick up and get it done or whatever, right? By the way, we're going down the hill right now, going into Baker, California, coming from Las Vegas. We're on the I-15, and I love this scene. If you've never been here before, this is one of those places that it's a must see. And it's a must see when it's not hazy out. When it's really clear out, like early in the morning, it's really nice to see. And specifically after it just rained, it's really nice to see because it's like you can see for like 10, 20 miles, and you can see details for 10, 20 miles. So anyway, let's get back on the load, right? So this load, I called it in. Like I said, she was like, nah, we need somebody ready right now. And then as soon as, like, because she kept telling me, right, that it has to be picked up by 2 o'clock. I was like, wow, okay, sure. And I asked them, can they stay for 30 minutes, so I can go pick it up. And she was like, no, we need somebody to come there, to go there and pick it up ASAP. I was like, okay, sure, no problems. They're looking for somebody who's available right at that moment when I called in, okay? So as time was ticking, right, this freaking load, man, it went from 18 to 2,000 to 2,500 to 3,000. Before it even hit 3,000, I was already freed up, okay? But I was gonna make it past 2 o'clock time frame that they were targeting, right? And come to find out, it's Sunbelt, and they close at 4 o'clock. I don't know why but anyway. So I called it in when it was posted for 2,500. I said, go ahead, let's book it. I'm ready now. I'll be there in 1 hour. And I told her my time frame, my ETA to pick up. And she was like, okay, cool. Yeah, we can make that happen. Boom. So as we did all the paperwork, fill out the packet and everything, right? I'm on the way. I see the rate con. Rate con says 3,000. I said, whoa. And I'm not complaining. Why would you complain, right? Anyway, it's just crazy. You go from 1,500 to 3,000 on the load. That's double on this load, Did they have that much money in it? I have no idea. They're saying it's a dedicated load and they need it to be completed. So maybe they're taking an L on this. I don't know how much they're taking an L on it. I don't know, And then I told Parker about it, right? Anyway, Parker was like, are you sure it's a legit load? I was like, it's legit, man. Like, I even questioned myself, right? Which is okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. But from talking to them and getting the information and doing everything else, everything looked legit. You know what I mean? Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, right? So, um, and then I even told Parker, man, can you go take a look at it? Maybe I'm overlooking it because of the rate. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, okay, sure, sure. He looked at it and he said, man, it looks legit. I think you got a legit load. I was like, yeah, I think so too. Because one of the ways that I check was I look up the MC number, right? And then I called that phone number that's listed on the MC to the FMCSA. And it put me back into the dispatch that I've been speaking to this whole time. So I was like, yeah, it's legit, right? I didn't even call in to confirm the load number because I know for a fact it's legit. But like I said, I told Parker, man, could you could you take a look at them, make sure, and when I got to Sunbelt Rental, right? I asked them, hey man, who is the broker for this load? And then they're like, hold on a second. And then they said, hey, it's Citation. I was like, yeah, sounds good to me. Let's load it up. Boy, I tell you, we got really lucky on this one. Really, really lucky. Welcome to Baker, California. I believe, don't quote me on this, if you see that big old red thing, right? It's kind of tall, skinny. I believe that's the tallest thermostat in the world. Don't quote me on it. I believe that's a claim over here. That is the largest thermostat in the world. So I don't know if that's still the case, but yeah. Anyway, so as I was talking to Parker, right? Today I was talking to Parker and I was talking to him about my current situation when it comes to trucking, right? The the whole situation itself, As you guys know, that I'm tied up at home most of the time, and for me, it makes zero sense to keep the authority open if the authority is not making any money to at least pay for itself to keep it open. Okay, so that means my insurance, right? Biggest thing is insurance, right? That's $1,600 a month, and then a lot of other little things. As a matter of fact, I just had a random drug test. Now, what's funny about these random drug tests, right? If you have your own authority, uh, and you're only a single guy or a single operator, you're just one person within the company. Yeah, see, it's showing 94 degree, 90, 84, 94? No, 94. Wow, it's hotter than that, huh? Oh, it was cooler up there. Okay, okay. Anyway, if you're just one person within the company, the best bet is because you have to do a random drug test, right? And when you do a random drug test, if you're only one person in there, of course, it's always gonna be you. You know what I mean? I believe you have to do that every year, right? So at least once a year, you're gonna get a drug test, right? Which I got no problem with. The thing is that thing costs quite a bit, about $80 a pop. Almost $100 a pop. Every time you do it. So I mean, like I said, no big deal. It's just that what I'm getting at is I'm part of this one program, right, where I pay for services as let me see, $80 a year, $60 a year, or something like that. Maybe I should just be doing my own thing. Anyway, I pay for their services $60 a year, and they're supposed to be about 50 some thousand people within all of these carriers combined, right? Smaller carriers combined, and then they pick randomly who should get a drug test out of that, right? So I'm pretty sure it's just random number generator, right? There's a number assigned to my name, and then it just picks whatever those numbers are, right? To get sent for a random drug test. Anyway, so my point is I'm in this program since 2021, the same program, okay? And I have had a random drug test 3 times now. So almost every year. Maybe I should just be doing my own, you know? Because now you got to think about it. It's like I'm paying them $100 or $60 a year to maintain my membership with them so I can be within a bigger pool to avoid trying to get that one random test, right? But at the same time, if I'm I don't know. I'm just saying though. Anyway, it's just part of the expenses, right? So you got all of these expenses that you got to pay, but if the authority's not making any money, it's pointless to keep it open. That's basically what I was trying to get at, right? When I was talking to Parker, and then he was like, "Hey, why don't you put it up and hire somebody?" I said, "Yeah, that's also an option for me." Now, see, with the way I drive, right? You have to understand the way I drive. I drive this thing like it's mine, which it is. So I drive it like that, right? I drive it like, man, I take it easy. I don't need to be in no rush. I'm never in no rush when I'm operating this thing, right? So if you put in a driver in there, you know, um, either you have to meticulously keep on going through drivers until you find the right one, or you'll have to put up with somebody who's rough on your equipment. Okay. Um, Most of the time, that's probably what the case is gonna be. That's why I kind of like that option, but at the same time, I don't because of that reason. Okay. Um, and I was talking to him, and I was telling him, see, at the moment, I don't have a good cash flow, right? I'm talking about a good, solid cash flow. You know, that's why that's what another reason why I'm trying to stay away from hiring a driver. Because when you hire drivers, man, either you have a lot of money behind or you got to have good cash flow. I have neither, you know. When I'm driving and if I have another truck, then we got some type of cash flow there, right? Then I can hire a driver, put them on, and then I can hire another, or I can buy another truck, hire another driver, and so on and so forth. And then eventually I'll get from behind the wheel, right? And my cash flow is continuous, right? And then I can definitely, I can build a solid foundation, right? Um, and and Parker was telling me you're kind of overthinking it, and I agree with him in some capacity. I really do. But the only thing I'm really worried about is like finding a driver who, you know what I mean, who can see eye to eye with me as the owner. And I get it, you know what I mean. I really do. I get it that not everyone is gonna you know, be looking after your equipment because it doesn't belong to them, and I get it. They're not doing it purposely. They're not intending to do it in a harmful manner, but that's just the fact of life, right? If it doesn't belong to you, you're not gonna care as much as if something would belong to you, right? So that's where mainly we are, Um, maybe I'm just too attached to it. You know what I mean? I'm too attached to the equipment. I don't know. Maybe I need to get the emotional attachment out of the equation, and then I can finally do something about it. You know what I mean? Um, at the moment, man, it's like as I was telling you guys, even last year, throughout this year as well. Even when I renew my insurance, is that I don't want to act on it until I find out what that insurance renewal is next year. This coming up in renewal, you know, that'll be 2 solid years of operation, right? Zero incident, knock knock knock. So far, zero incident, and man, I am expecting this insurance to drop, you know, and I'm not, and if it's gonna be high, I I think I'm shutting it down. It's because it's pointless for me to keep it running like this the way we are right now. I'm suffering to maintain to keep it open, you know. Uh, I'm even doing Uber, man, and let me tell you, that's rough, man. Uber is rough. Now with my vehicle, right, the QX80, because it's in a higher tier, I'm able to get these higher pay per mile ride, right? And but the problem is they're not always there. Those rides are not always there, you know. So you're sitting around a lot, and as hot as it is in Vegas, I'd have to idle. Then now I'm using fuel to idle, right? So you know, it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, we're here delivering, right? Quick load, quick load. This side of San Diego. Well, it's not actually San Diego, it's El Cajon. I don't know how you say that, El Cajon. But anyway, we're getting ready to unload. Okay, so we got that load empty, unloaded. Sitting here in Corona, California. I This is the 15, this is the I-15. I almost forget how. See, it's been, I would say, over a year, maybe a year and a half since the last time I was in California with this truck, at least. As a matter of fact, since the last time I was in California, and I forget that how challenging it is to drive over here in California, man. Like, look at it, right? Look how much traffic is flowing, and it's like it's a weekend. You know what I mean? And it's freaking 12:30 in the afternoon, and that's a three-lane highway. You know what I'm saying? And we're in the middle of nowhere in uh, Southern California, right? See, when you get to like Northern California area, it's really not that bad. You know, when you get to like right here in this area, you know that 99 and the 5, you know that one is not so bad. But for some reason in Southern California, any time of the day, you know, during the day, it's just so challenging to drive over here. Just so many people out and about. You know what I mean? Um, Even like early in the morning. You know one thing I miss about COVID is driving in California. It's like I miss COVID driving in California because it was so empty then. You know what I mean? There was like a lot less people on the road. So anyway, dropped off that load. I was able to pick up another load, right? Even though it's a weekend, it's picking up on a Sunday, which is not the best, but at the same time, I wanted to make uh, something out of this trip, right, guys? Because I'm in a better area. I would never deadhead empty from Las Vegas to Southern California unless it's something really, really good, and it pays really good, right? But while I'm here, I'm gonna try to take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me go look for a load, and I did find a load, and it's paying a ridiculous amount. But like I said, it's gonna take some of your time. Like I'm gonna be sitting around. So it's already Sunday, by the way. Uh, so I dropped off that load yesterday, right? And we're whatchamacallit, we're heading to Pasadena. We're gonna go pick up in Pasadena. There's some kind of concert going on over there, so we're picking up the concert venue stuff, and then taking it to Indio, California, which is like 123 some miles. Anyway, it's like I was able to get the guy for 1,400 on that. So I was really happy with that. And he understood. It's a weekend. He might not find anybody that's willing to pick up at 4 p.m. on a Sunday. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, sure. Anyway, that's what I'm waiting on right now. But we're just gonna go ahead and close out this vlog. Oh yeah, there's some people that are commenting. We got a few people that are from the poker vlog, right? I play poker and I love playing poker, and I still do love playing poker. I'm still very passionate about poker. I'm talking about live poker, right? Poker against everybody else, you know what I mean? Not the casino. But anyway, uh, people are commenting, hey, there's always poker, right? Yes, that's true. There's always poker. See, the problem is that with poker, especially live games, you have to sit there and be present on at the table, which I don't have a lot of time doing. You know what I mean? Because the main priority is the little one, right? Taking care of the little one. That's why I just can't just sit for hours on the table. You know what I'm saying? So I've been actually playing online. I have been running deep on a few tournaments online. So um, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, we can bank something really nice, and then we'll go buy a whole new setup for it. With that tournament money, right? Anyway, we will see you guys in the next video.